Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, my model aviator friends. Hot off the press for show and tell day today, literally coming off the FedEx truck probably less than 30 minutes ago, is my pre-order for my 10-year-old son from Spektrum RC. This is their newest air transmitter release as of late, distributed by Horizon Hobby, being this guy right here, the Spektrum NX7e transmitter. Designed to replace the DX6e radio and the DX8e radio to have this align more with the rest of the NX series of radios. But it looks nice so far. I mean, very classy box. I was kind of excited to see this guy. I'll be totally honest. I think this is a LED kind of border around this kind of center bezel was 90% of the reason I ordered it, because to be honest, and looking at the specs and performance and what it does, it's really not that different from the DX6e and DX8e transmitters. It's replacing, we'll kind of touch on a few of those things here. It sides right up, upside down here, let's flip this over. So let's take a look at what you get here. A manual, also in white, probably comes in 37 different languages in here. Yep. It's good reading material if you're interested, but I like their definitely doing a white theme with this guy. And the transmitter itself, alright, you sure don't get much in the box. Literally the transmitter and USB-C charging cable, because that's one of the major upgrades I guess you get out of this thing. And here she is. Nice looking radio right off the bat, and actually this looks gray. Watching the promo videos from Horizon, I think one or two other guys that got the pre-order versions, it looked really black, and it looks black on the box too. I don't know, you tell me, like, that looks kind of black in the bezel, but like that is 100% gray. That's alright. I guess I'd have preferred it to be more black, but it's not really that big of a deal. But kind of nice looking transmitter. I like this folding antenna that kind of collapses down, a new handle design. It does feel a little chintzy and plasticky, but that's okay. Again, it's an E model, which I actually don't even know what that means. Again, I think it's a economy or entry level, and this is not designed to compete with kind of the mid-level radios, being like the rest of the NX series. I have a NX7e here. This is kind of the mid-range stuff, and then of course the IX14 and IX20 and so forth are the high-end radios. So this does sit in that lower end, more entry-level price point, etc. from their lineup. But it looks cool. So I mean, yeah, what are you getting with this line going away, being discontinued and going away? I guess I didn't get the time of this. These are still available for sale, but I presume they're just going to get rid of old stock, and this will be the go-to guy. But again, before I talk about differences, I mean, there's a lot of the same. It's the same airware programming that's used in pretty much all the legacy DX radios and the current NX radios and IX radios. Well, actually, never mind, not IX, it's a different setup, but same DSMX protocol, nothing new there. 250 model memory, I think it is. That remains unchanged. Same airplane, helicopter, sailplane, multi-rotor programming. Same wireless trainer capability if being used as a slave radio. If it's a master radio, you need to get that little serial receiver that needs to go into the battery door of the or serial receiver that goes in the battery door if you were to bind this. Or have a radio bind to this one, rather, excuse me. So that's all the same. It supports all the safe and smart telemetry, safe capabilities and smart telemetry for batteries, ESCs, and receivers. Same thing as all the DX6e, 8e, and all the NX line transmitters as well. So there's probably more that's the same than what's different on this, but on the notion of really what you're getting out of this thing over the outgoing DX models is, one, obviously, is the new case design. They kind of went out of I wouldn't say left field, but just a whole new look, which I mean I like it. I think it looks kind of fresh. The white will be nice out in the sun. It'll reflect a lot of the heat. so forth. And I already see some people complaining about this thing's going to get likely dirty. If that's the case, maybe we should question your hand hygiene health. Totally kidding. I know the gas and globe flyers will have greasy hands and grime on there that over time will probably require this thing to be wiped down with a hand towel or whatever else, but that's okay. I don't really see that as too big of a deal. The switches are new, or I shouldn't say new, rather, but like installed from behind the case. Goes away with the very classic switch nut setup. I think that's more for aesthetics. I mean, it's not often you having these things loosen up and your switches come out on you. So I think just a newer kind of their take at trying to modernize it, make it look kind of like a, I don't know, DGI stuff or whatever else. Let's see, the LED, I'll say this is new. Their LED functionality or border on this bezel, again, I think is kind of cool looking. There you go. Oh, it does look nice. Looks better in person than it does on camera here, but that's kind of cool. Looks like when the RF starts transmitting, this border lights up, and I think it changes color when you're charging too. I'll test that here in a second. But kind of neat. You do get the new NX style screen, so the little higher resolution, better color palette over the outgoing E model screens. This, if you guys remember or don't know, this thing just didn't look as kind of fresh and clean. This has a just a better look to it. So that's new. What else is new on this thing? Folding antenna. We did talk about, obviously with the NX7, it's a 7-channel radio, again to sit right in the middle of the outgoing 6 and 8, but it's a fully proportional 7th channel. The NX6 technically is a 7-channel radio as well, but that 7th channel is not proportional. I think it's used for the safe functions to be turned on and off, so forth. So this, I guess, from that sense, that's kind of cool. It's a 7-channel. I will say, let's see, what else? It does include a 2,000 milliamp rechargeable battery, which is kind of nice. That's new. You're no longer dealing with a little AA battery tray that comes in the 6e and the 8e. So that's kind of neat. And of course, as mentioned, the USB-C plug-in for charging. So what you're not getting, if you're looking at this and compared to the NX6 or NX8, there's a few things that they're obviously just trying to stay cost conscious with this guy. It does have a smaller screen. This is a 2.8 inch, I believe. Let me power it on once more. Compare it against my NX10 here, which is a 3.2. But honestly, not that really big of a deal. It's not like you're going to be struggling to see anything on this slightly smaller screen, but that is one difference that you're going to see between the NX7e versus the NX6, 8, and 10. There's no diversity antenna on this one, so it is a single dipole antenna in this plastic flippy floppy guy. On the other NX series radios, you do have an antenna in the main mast, and also the antenna in this handle for that dual antenna diversity. So you're not getting diversity with this radio. There's also no Wi-Fi on here, which I don't think that's a really that big a deal. I mean, yeah, with these guys you can register it and run firmware updates, so on and so forth. But I mean, that's pretty infrequent anyways. And going through these little scroll wheels and trying to pick all the letters, numbers, uppercase, lowercase, trying to punch in your Wi-Fi password is a little bit of a pain anyway. So omitting Wi-Fi from here, I don't think that's a deal breaker for anyone. It wasn't for me, at least. One thing I was bummed to hear, or rather not hear, is there's no voice in this guy. So with the other NX series of radios, you can assign voice warnings, alerts, switch position, things of that nature. You can't do that with this one. It's only haptic and different beep tones and so forth, just like the legacy DX6e and 8e, so you're not getting any upgrade functionality there. And then lastly, really, the other notable thing, kind of touched on the wireless trainer functionality. It's not integrated or embedded into this like the NX6, 8, and 10 are. Again, only if using this as a slave radio. No, I'm mixing this all up. Let me start over, excuse me. Only if using this as a master radio. As a slave, this will work fine binding to another radio in the NX line, or even probably the legacy DX8s or DX9s, whatever else. So really, that's about it. But I mean, so far it looks really kind of nice. It feels good. So I take this out in the field, let my kiddo have at it, and see what he thinks. And actually, I want to plug this in. I know it's silly, but I like LEDs. That this changes color. I'll grab my cable, which I have one over here. Plug this guy in. And yeah, there you go. So it glows green and gives some sort of indication of how much milliamp is left to charge or what's in there, and glows green. That's kind of neat. It's more vivid in person, but again, gimmicky, but I don't know, I like it. So alright, so with that said, we'll take this thing out to the field, let my kiddo fly it. I presume it's just going to operate like all other Spektrum transmitters we had, and go check it out. Have a great day, everyone. See ya.